If you are trying to buy your first home in New York City, this one simple roadmap will save you from losing your dream apartment to an all-cash buyer. Because right now, you're probably thinking, I have the down payment, I have the pre-approval, I just need to find the right place. But the mistake most buyers make is thinking the hard part is finding the apartment. Actually, the hard part is surviving the 7-step gauntlet between submitting your offer and actually getting the keys. If you don't know exactly what a REBNY financial statement is, or why your lawyer needs 5 days for due diligence before you sign a contract, you're going to get outmaneuvered by someone who does. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain on the exact step-by-step transaction process I use to get my clients into their homes. No fluff, just the exact sequence of events from your first open house to the closing table. Let's get into it. Step 1 is the showings. When we go out to look at properties, we are doing a process of elimination. You want to focus on layout, light, and carrying costs, which you should always try to keep between $2.50 and $3 per square foot. But once you find the one, we immediately move to step 2. Submitting the offer. Here's the thing though, in New York City, an offer is not just a number on an email. If you just send the price, the seller's agent will not take you seriously. When we submit an offer on your behalf, we submit a complete package. That includes your pre-approval letter, your attorney's contact information, a short bio about who you are to show the board you are a great candidate, and the most important document of all, the REBNY financial statement. The REBNY statement is a full breakdown of your assets and liabilities. It proves to the seller that you have the exact debt-to-income ratio and the post-closing liquidity required to actually pass the board interview. Now you're probably sitting there thinking, wait, if I submit all of this financial information, am I legally bound to buy this place? The answer is no. Submitting an offer in New York commits you to absolutely nothing. It just gets you to the negotiating table. Okay, so we negotiated the price and the seller says yes. You have an accepted offer. Most people stop here and start celebrating, but actually the deal is not secured yet. An accepted offer just triggers the lawyers to get involved. The seller's agent sends out what is called a deal sheet, which outlines the price, the closing date, the financing contingencies, and the commission splits. This brings us to step 4. Due diligence. While the seller's attorney drafts the contract, your attorney has about 5 business days to tear the building apart on paper. They're going to read the board minutes, check the building's financials, look for hidden assessments, and run a lien search to make sure the unit is free and clear. This step is critical. You do not want to buy into a building that is secretly facing, say, a $5 million roof repair that you will have to pay for next year. Once your lawyer gives the green light, they negotiate any minor contract changes with the seller's lawyer. But that's not even the most intense part. The next step is where the money actually moves. Step 5 is the contract signing. Once your lawyer says the contract is safe, you sign it and you wire your contract deposit, usually 10% of the purchase price, into an escrow account. Then the contract goes to the seller. Once the seller signs it, you officially have a fully executed contract, or an FEC. This is the moment the apartment is actually locked in. The seller cannot show it to anyone else, and they cannot accept a higher backup offer. Once we have the fully executed contract, the clock starts ticking on the 2 biggest hurdles left: securing your actual mortgage commitment from the bank and the dreaded board package. If there is one thing you're worried about in this whole process, it's probably the board package, and you should be. Step 6 is submitting your life on paper to the building's board of directors. If you're buying a condo, this is usually just a formality called a waiver of the right of first refusal. But if you're buying a co-op, this is a highly invasive process. We help you gather years of tax returns, bank statements, personal reference letters, and professional reference letters. The secret here is to gather all your financial statements last, because if they are more than 30 days old when the board reviews them, they will reject the package and make you start over. Once the board reviews the package, they will call you in for an interview. My best advice for an interview: say exactly what you need to answer the question and nothing more. Be polite, be boring, and do not offer up extra information. Once they approve you, they issue the official approval letter, and your attorney can finally schedule the closing. We are at the finish line. Step 7 is the closing. About 24 hours before you sit down at the closing table, we do a final walkthrough of the apartment. We are checking to make sure the plumbing works, the appliances turn on, and the seller left the property in the condition agreed upon in the contract. If you're buying a resale apartment, you're buying as is. That means the seller does not have to patch nail holes or paint the walls, but the major systems must work. If you're buying new development, we are marking every single scratch on the floor for the sponsor to fix. Once the walkthrough is clear, you head to the closing table. You bring the remainder of your down payment and closing costs, you sign a mountain of paperwork, and the bank funds the rest of the purchase. And just like that, the keys are yours. Buying a home in New York City is a complex, high-stakes process. You need a team that knows exactly how to navigate the board requirements, the attorneys, and the negotiations so you don't lose your money on your dream home. If you are ready to start your search, reach out to me directly. There is a link in the description to this video. I would love to help you navigate this process. If you found value in this video, subscribe, because this is exactly what this channel is about. Not just what's for sale, but how the market actually thinks. I'm Svetlana Grazeva, and I'll see you in the next one.